I would like to present to you this webinar by Priyanka. Ms. Priyanka is the project manager at NTU Continental Corporate Lab, where she contributes to projects related to fleet management and cognitive navigation. She has experience working closely with both academians and industry partners, and she has been managing projects for autonomous vehicles, transportation simulation, and other smart transportation areas. She has technical and managerial background in GIS and computer modeling and simulation, and a key interest lies in urban sustainability and the role of AI in future mobility. So without further ado, I will pass this to Priyanka to start the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Summer. Thanks for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for coming in, taking the effort in your busy afternoons, working from home, everyone. Now that's the new normal. Maybe I think some of you may be in offices. Anyway, I hope your time during your working hours is worth it attending this webinar. I'll begin. So the topic of this presentation is verification and validation of autonomous vehicles using the virtual environment of Singapore. And it's a PTV seminar and in a geospatial week. I will try and talk about both of them with respect to the research project that we're working on. Moving on. Okay, so beginning with the introduction of the project. The project basically assesses autonomous vehicle as a potential technology in our upcoming future. Very soon we will have autonomous vehicles as a part of our public, maybe not necessarily public, but as a part of our transportation network. And I'm not just saying that based on the recent news from Tesla or anything. Actually, I don't think it may be that soon personally, just the personal off the record, but yeah, it may be a part of our transportation network very soon. More on the introduction. The project is mainly about assessing autonomous vehicle as a technology. Now there is a lot of research going on in terms of research and development of the autonomous vehicles, but we thought is very little research on infrastructure, like what kind of changes we are going to see in the infrastructure to accommodate autonomous vehicles. Are we doing enough for that? So like there are you will see several researchers going on artificial intelligence, camera detecting objects from autonomous vehicles. But like, what about our roads? What about our bridges? Are they ready for autonomous vehicles? Are we ready in terms of roads and other like bus stops, for example? If autonomous vehicles become a part of public infrastructure, public transport, are we ready for that? Bring them in along with our SMRT buses. Are we ready for that? So that's the project. That's what the project is about. We try to study the impact of autonomous vehicles in our current infrastructure, and we see how we have come up with a few designs, and then we see the impact of AVs in the changed infrastructure with the designs that we propose. Moving on. So there are a few project objectives. One of it is to understand the autonomous vehicle behavior itself. Like if there is a pedestrian in front of it, does the AV steer or run over the pedestrian or brake? How does it behave? Then the project also includes an input of high fidelity street environment. We have used another software which uses a virtual LiDAR, and it creates a virtual LiDAR environment around it, very similar to how a LiDAR sensor would create around it. And then there is middleware and co-simulation environment, where we use different software to understand the impact of traffic and infrastructure on it, infrastructure and autonomous vehicles. In terms of workflow, this project is sponsored by NRF and GovTech, and we are using the virtual Singapore environment. But even if it is not the virtual Singapore environment as such, the project is being done in Singapore, and the simulation environment is that of Singapore. We have tried to make it as global as possible, like so that the design can be adapted to other cities and countries. But for now, as the first input, we are using that of Singapore. There are elements of the project. We are also using another software, which is called VTD, Virtual Test Drive, and PTV Vissim. We are trying to exploit the strengths of both software, and for Vissim, we are really exploiting its quite powerful traffic simulation techniques, and we have changed some behavior, and we are using some of the model, and we are trying to simulate the historical, and we have used input historical data for traffic simulation, and we have changed the infrastructure in Vissim. We are trying to study the impact. You'll understand more of it once I move on with the slides. So yeah, coming on the proposed infrastructure changes that I have been mentioning. First, on its locations. So the infrastructure is, our area of interest is Ang Mo Kio district in Singapore. The reason for the choice of AOI is, one is that for the virtual Singapore environment, NRF virtual Singapore, this part was fairly well developed. Another is this part of area of interest is it has everything, as in it has a school, it has a mall, MRT, library. So it's a very good sample for the study of a holistic city environment. And in terms of Ang Mo Kio particularly, the infrastructure designs are proposed just near the MRT. So right outside the Ang Mo Kio MRT, there is a taxi pickup point, and we have proposed changes of infrastructure at that location. More detail on the designs. So the first design we have proposed is a design of shared autonomous vehicle and bus bay. So bus bay are nothing but the bay where the bus enters, passengers alight and board, and the bus exits. That's the bus bay. And we have proposed, and in the first design that we have proposed is modifying that infrastructure and accommodating an autonomous vehicle from it. So in terms of changes, there is a very minor change. I'll explain more on the design. But right outside the MRT, there is a taxi pickup point, and there is a bus loading unloading. There is a loading unloading bay. What we have proposed is modifying this bay to something that can be shared by a bus and an autonomous vehicle. And it's very close to the baseline, really. When we see it in terms of a video, for example, so like we expect, or we simulate a bus to come in where passengers are alighting and boarding, and the yellow car behind is a simulated autonomous vehicle. We have simulated a 12-seater. That's why we see so many people coming in and out. We have simulated a 12-seater autonomous vehicle, and we have assumed it to be a public transport. This is from a feedback from LTA. That AVs, when they come to Singapore, most likely they will be public transports, a part of the public transport. So more detail on the design dimension. So when we came up with this, the video that you saw, it had some design it had a design length and a dimension. So it's not just out of the air. We have tried to make it as realistic as possible. So LDA has some specific guidelines for the design. In terms of, so X1 and Z1 is nothing but the entry and exit of the bus bay, and that more or less stays constant in all vehicles, in all bus bays. What varies is the middle part, and that varies based on the frequency of buses. So when per hour there is a frequency of 1 to 39 buses, it's a single bus bay. And in total, like 20 and 18 and 25, it comes to 63 meter. So we had to figure out what could be the frequency of the buses in the location that we are designing. So there are, of course, some assumptions to be made because it's a simulation environment and we cannot completely avoid assumptions. It cannot be completely based on real data. Otherwise, like, you kind of lose the essence of simulation. And it's expensive and all those benefits of simulation. I see hands up, and I think it may be a question. Let's take the questions at the end of the session. Okay, so what we have, we figured, we found from the public data information that there are some 19 buses that come to this bus stop that we are simulating. And with that, we calculated the headway. Based on that, a person has to wait for about, on an average, 7 minutes for the next bus, which means 9 buses per hour. 9 buses per hour makes it a single busway dimension. Now comes the time for assumptions. Now with a frequency, like I said, of 9 buses per peak hour, a single bus bay size is sufficient. But we are also simulating a shared bus bay, a shared autonomous vehicle with that bus. So there had been some feedbacks about autonomous, feedbacks in literature about autonomous vehicle penetration in markets like Singapore, even for Singapore. But like, to the best of our knowledge, we could not find any literature of market penetration of autonomous vehicles in public transport. So that's something we had to make an assumption. So for us, we made an assumption that if a passenger has to wait for 7 minutes to make it convenient for the passenger and AV to become more of a preferred mode, the waiting time should be cut to at least half. So we have made an assumption that the AVs will be coming in at every 3.5 minutes to reduce the waiting time. With that in mind, we made the dimension that you see, the black arrow, is the total dimension, which is 70 meter. It's the average of single and double bus bay length, including everything X, Y, and Z. It's the average of that. There are other model inputs like traffic volume, passenger volume, signal data input. I will not go into the detail of each of it. One is in the interest of time, and other is that we have submitted this paper for publication and it will be out soon. There are, like, that paper consists of all the assumptions and everything that I'm talking about in much more detail. If there are any questions, I can try to answer them offline or during this session, Q&A session. So that is one design. The other design is elongated busway. So that how that design goes is, it accommodates 2 buses and 1 vehicle. The way to design it was, we simulated it how if how can 2 buses and an AV can enter and exit seamlessly. It came out to be the length of a triple busway. Yeah, that's how it looks. There are 2 buses and there is a AV in between. And then there is another proposed interesting infrastructure is that of an exclusive bus bay, exclusive taxi bay, or exclusive AV bay. Here, the autonomous vehicle does not share the bay with the AV, but instead there is an exclusive pickup and drop-off point for the AV. So it comes in and it maneuvers itself and separates it from the queue that is only for AV infrastructure, for the bus infrastructure. We have a video of it. So for example, there is this bus coming at the bus stop, and there is an AV that will use the that will use its exclusive bay to maneuver itself, pick up and drop off passengers. For the local audiences, this design is quite inspired by, if you are familiar with the Buona Vista MRT station, there is a separate taxi point, an exclusive one. So we have taken inspiration from that, and instead of taxi point, we are assuming it to be an autonomous vehicle. In terms of results, okay, so we have 2 major KPIs. Travel time for AVs is reduced over designs. AV takes the, okay, so if we see from the graphs, AVs take the longest time for the shared bus bay, which is closest to the baseline, and the time for the travel time, it keeps reducing for every design. So for elongated bus, it takes lesser, and then for exclusive, it takes further less time. But interestingly, we also saw that the time for cars and other vehicles increases. So maybe it's like a trade-off for the preferred mode, if the preferred mode of AV. But again, it gives us an opportunity to investigate the effect of total design further. We haven't stopped our research here, and we are making some changes to the existing design also, to these designs, to understand the effect of simulation further. Another KPI is the queue length. So here the shared bus bay, which is like again closest to the baseline, there the queue length is slightly lesser for the as compared to the elongated bus bay. That design tends to form more queue, and it's the least for exclusive bus bay. So if you remember the design, there's a separate bay for the AVs. Now that again, it's the impact is that it reduces the size, that it reduces the queue length. Again, there may be a trade-off with the area. It increases the area of the total design. It's a trade-off. I emphasize on the term trade-off with area is because Singapore is a area constrained city, and it can be it's something that needs more thought, even if it reduces the queue length. But this, and it may be like a good design, it reducing the time significantly, it reducing the queue length, but at the cost of increasing the space of area. Finally, future research, what we are working on, one is for like doing more research on the existing design itself. Another is taking the research to different parts of Singapore. So like, for example, you may know of One North area is also quite active for for autonomous vehicle research. Then there is like taking, yeah, so that's what I mean by taking it to other parts of Singapore, and then other taking the whole design concept to other parts of the world. For example, Germany or some Scandinavian countries who are more active in, who are also quite active in autonomous vehicle research. Another thing that we are quite actively researching is impact of AV on crowded pedestrian scenarios. That's something we are also using the other software VTD for it. We are developing data sets of pedestrian in extreme scenarios, and we are trying to understand the impact of AVs on such scenarios. And the last is further research on use cases like first mile and last mile with the AVs. So that's something again we are working on, where we are seeing as where we are assuming AVs to be one of the vehicle, one of the first mile and last mile aiding public transport, and how it can impact. There are several factors to it: carbon emission, for example, or like, yeah, the total travel time, how much is it how much is it reduced. So it's a significant topic of research, and we are working on it. And with that, I will say thank you, and I'm ready to take questions. Yeah, so thank you very much. Summer, I'm ready to take questions.
Okay, thank you, Priyanka. We will go ahead and take some time for questions now. Just a reminder to everyone, please remember to, if you have any questions, please be sure to type your questions into the question box in your control panel. So now we have the first question from Andre Yulianto. So he said, hello, my name is Andrea from ITERA Indonesia. Will increasing the length of the bus bay increase the capacity and decrease the waiting time?
Just a second. I'm trying to see the question also myself. Just in yeah, okay. Will increasing the length of bus bay increase the capacity and decrease waiting time? So that's again what we are trying to understand. So increasing the bus bay, the maximum length for bus bay was on elongated design. Let me share my screen again. Organizers, am I sharing my screen again? Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, so for example, yeah, the maximum bus length was an elongated bus bay, but we still found out the results for the least were for exclusive AV design for the travel time. In terms of capacity, increase the capacity and decrease waiting time. Capacity is interesting. We haven't exactly like seen on that KPI, but what we have seen for the travel time, sorry, is the travel time that we have seen that it's least for AVs in the exclusive design and slightly lesser in the elongated one, and maximum for AVs in the shared bus bay, which was the one that is closest to the baseline. Um, if I hope that answers your question, but yeah, capacity is an interesting thought, and sure, we can, it's something that we can work on. Sorry. Okay. I have there are more questions. I'll take them.
Okay.
Which sensors do you prefer for autonomous bus? Okay. So for sensors, we haven't used WISM so much for sensors. I'll still try to answer your question. For sensors, we have used LiDAR simulation, simulated LiDAR, and for that we have used VTD software. And I will not be able to answer your question on the actual vehicle sensors because I do not, personally, I do not work on the hardware technology itself. And in terms of software, we have used LiDAR, but not in WISM, more on VTD. I hope that answers your question. You feel free to type in. Now there is another one. What all parameters do you change in vehicle behavior in terms of WISM for AV? So WISM has its own AV behavior model. It is, I mean, more changes, more details of it would be great, but for now it has one default behavior of WISM of AVs. We are using that. It is very similar to the car following model. So we are using the default AV behavior in WISM. The next question is from Paul from Philippines. Will the autonomous vehicle will detect and avoid the bus lane? This is to ensure the safety of passenger inside autonomous vehicle. Again, a very interesting question. And again, this is something that we are working on for the especially like when I said for pedestrian behavior. Our research for this particular research, I agree that it is very much for the safety, but this particular research does not delve in so much into the safety of the passengers inside or outside. This one very much focuses on the impact of infrastructure and KPIs like travel time. For once, we have assumed that it is close to level 4 or level 5 AV. And this is also like, again, this also sort of addresses Asha Anand's question on the vehicle behavior, that we are using that type of behavior of AV. And this is to addressing Paul's question again. We are using some part of VTD for the vehicle pedestrian behavior data sets, but our research for now is not so much focusing on the safety. There are other researchers in NTU of parallel teams, and we are which focus more on the safety. But again, like to avoid overlap of too much within of projects within the same institute, this one addresses a different topic, which is of the infrastructure. Paul, I hope I have addressed your question at least partly. Feel free to type in again if I haven't. How is the increase in travel time for car bus related to decrease to AV's travel time? So how is the increase in travel times for car bus related to decrease to AV's travel time? How exactly it is related to is something that we are also trying. So this all AVs, other cars and other vehicles like buses, they are part of the same micro simulation environment. What we found out was that the AV vehicle, which you saw in yellow below behind, was following the AV behavior model, whereas the cars and buses were just the normal behavior. And we realized that AVs, when they are using the exclusive one, they are the travel time was lesser for them, and that of cars and AV was increasing. That's something is an interesting result for us also, that is it a trade-off? If we are increasing if we are putting in AVs, then is it increasing the vehicle, is it a trade-off with the other vehicles? We have checked, and like when we introduce AV, we are not increasing the traffic too much, so it's not like the direct impact of increasing the traffic. So it's not like first we had 100 vehicles, now we had 120 vehicles, those 20 are AVs, and then it's a direct impact of impact on traffic. It's not like a linear explanation. It's not a linear extrapolation in this case. It's something that we are also trying to find out. When we penetrated AVs in the vehicle, we made sure that the whole traffic is similar to that of the baseline, if not exactly the same. And this is something we are also trying to understand, the relation between of AVs with cars and buses and how it is increasing the travel times. For now, we have those results, and we are trying to figure out more exactly on the relationship. Are these sessions recorded? Yes, I think so, right? Yeah, okay. Summer has already answered that. Another for Anna. What are safety measures you are considering for pedestrians on the road when AV are run through road? So Anna, like I tried to answer this question before, this particular project is assuming that the AV is developed, so it's a bit ahead of the time, and this particular research focuses more on the infrastructure. So there are, like I mentioned, there is a CTRAN project in NTU which works on the testing of autonomous vehicles, and they are very much on the safety. They're like the licensing. They're very much on the safety of the testing the safety of real autonomous vehicle developers. And there are other researchers in NTU which focus on the safety of the pedestrian. For now, we are trying to create more data sets, and we are trying to create more data sets of extreme scenarios, and we are trying to induce different behavior. But if your question is more on like how the actual vehicle in yeah, I think, yeah, so basically that this particular research, I know safety of AV is a very interesting topic for me also. But yeah, this particular project is more on the impact of infrastructure, and how it impact, if AVs are a part of our society and norm, if it's a new normal, how can we change it to make it more conducive, more accommodating. There was a student poster presentation previously that I missed. Also possible to send me the recorded session? Okay, I think, yeah, a question for the organizers. I think yes is the answer. Can
yeah.
we okay, sure. Can we develop an app relate to AV so people can get information about the vehicle, time of vehicle reach, traveling time, etc.? Yes, I'm sure. I mean, I am personally not working on it, but I'm sure it's plausible. AVs have GPS or like, yeah, GPS IMU embedded in them. So just like how we have, bus like travel times of buses, and then we can estimate. I think it's a very good idea to have those, and I'm sure once AVs are a part of the norm, this will be something that will will be something we will obviously expect. Yeah, it's a great idea, Anna. I think we can have that. I'm not working on it, but yeah, if there is an opportunity, sure. Are you somehow adapting the bus rapid transit system? Okay, so answering your question, Johanna, our project has taken LTS data in it historic data. So all the simulation that you saw, some like it's simulating historic data from LTA, which has SMRT, Rapid Transit System, if you are talking about that. It's real data, historic data. The feedback that we have received from LTA is that if Singapore, like Singapore is one of the frontiers of autonomous vehicle, if it comes in, it's very likely that it will be a part of public transportation system. So yes, I would say yes, we are trying to adapt to the bus rapid transit system, and that's exactly the reason that we are trying to simulate it in a real area with the real traffic data, historic traffic data. We have also done a survey. I did not include it in this presentation. We have also done a survey of where we went to Ang Mo Kio to validate that. That was more for the validation of our model, but we counted vehicles and we saw the turning ratios. We have logged that into our model as well. So yes, we are adapting to that to make our simulation more realistic and more reasonable. There is another question from Anna. How can I contact you? I think I will need the organizers' help. If they can, I feel free to pass my email address to Anna.
Okay, right. And now we will get you in connect. To connect with Priyanka regarding your question.
Okay, I hope I have addressed all your questions. It was great. It's a great feeling whenever you have questions after the end of the presentation. It seems that it has been a successful presentation. So I'm glad to receive these questions. Thank you very much for attending and being an active audience. Thank you very much. Please feel free to contact if you have any questions later offline. Please feel free to, I think, via the organizers. That may be the right approach to organize to contact the organizers and approach me. Yeah, thanks for now. Have a great afternoon and rest of the week ahead.
Great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. And thank you, Priyanka, for the presentation and for taking all these questions. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. For any other questions, please feel free to get in touch with us. There will be an email which will be sent to you and a survey that will be that you will just help us to achieve you out after this webinar. Thank you once again. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.